Dedication. For my daughter Emma, without you, I would not be the person I am today. You taught me how to be strong, to fight and never give up, and the blessing of what love is and how to love. To the mummies and daddies who have lost a child during pregnancy, during birth, after birth, through an accident, by suicide, or by the senseless act of terrorism, this is for you. And also to my study friend, Marie Berzins, who lit the fire within me with her affirmative words, Wendy, you must write this book. Now is the time for everyone to know this. They will learn so much about themselves and discover a way to heal. The hardest part wasn't losing you. The hardest part was living without you. Anonymous. Introduction. What could be worse than not having an instruction manual when your new baby arrives? Not having a survival manual for when your child dies. When your child arrives into this world, it's a wondrous and scary moment all at the same time. This new person is totally dependent on you, and you need to make sure they are safe and cared for. The problem is, your baby can't talk, and you have to figure out what all the different cries are. Is she hungry? Is he tired? Does she have a dirty nappy? Or is he sick? You read every baby or child-rearing book you can get your hands on, just to make sure you are doing things the right way. Your instincts help a little, but you're also dependent on others who have had babies before you to pass on their advice and tips to help. To interpret and understand what this new life is trying to tell you. But of course, nothing can prepare you for the many ups and downs of family life that will occur in the years that follow. However, there is something more challenging and overwhelming than navigating parenthood through the years. It is when your time together is cut short, when you must somehow face the future without your precious child. How do you get your head around that? Nothing prepares you for that. It was never part of the plan, and it was never on your mind. When Emma died, our whole world was turned upside down. It was a sad, lonely and helpless place to be. No one could give us any sort of answers as to how we were going to feel or how we would go on. When I was growing up, I never knew of any child dying. Occasionally we heard of very sick children that required medical attention and occasional hospital care, but no child that I knew had died. Today we live in a world where parents in some places send their children off to school and don't know if they will come home. Will their school be the next to experience a mass shooting? The number of these school shootings is beyond comprehension. Too many, far too many. Parents of the victims are now having to deal with the emotional trauma of living each day without their child, and yet they are expected to be a contributing, happy member of society. How can they be if they are struggling to function, both mentally and physically? The answer isn't that simple. But if I can use the analogy to help explain how this beast operates. The beast has two parts. The beast is made up of a house and a hurricane. The house represents you, and the hurricane represents your trauma and grief. If the house isn't built according to the correct building standards with a solid foundation, the correct methods, techniques, or product used according to the manufacturer's specifications, the chances are that the house is not going to fare very well in the hurricane, storm, heavy shower, etc. You get my drift. It's the same principle with us. If we haven't been taught how to accept change or deal with our emotions, or given the life skills to deal with adversity, then when a storm or hurricane hits us, such as losing a child, we are not going to cope very well. I didn't know how. No one showed me or taught me how, because no one knew. Yes, I had a faith, but that was not helping me through my mental or physical pain. So I knew that if I wanted change, I was the one. I was the one that had to do something different about it. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was carrying this invisible weight with me all the time, this shadow. Nobody could see it, but it was there. I didn't want to forget my child, but any thoughts of her just brought pain. I wanted to honour her memory, not forget her. I wanted to laugh again, but I didn't know how. My emotions were paralysing and debilitating for many years. Finally, about 3 years ago, I saw an opportunity to learn about my emotions and feelings. So, I enrolled with the International Coaching Institute in Australia to learn what causes us to shut down or suppress our emotions, what causes us to feel self-conscious, and how we process our thoughts. I discovered much of our belief systems about ourselves, thoughts and emotions, tied back to how we were raised. This then led me down a path of learning about human behaviour, trauma, the body and the brain. What I have discovered is that everything that has happened in our life, all our experiences, good and bad, the love we were given or not given, the type of partner we choose, it affects our whole being, our whole soul. Today, I know how to turn my challenges into opportunities, and I want to share my wisdom and the wisdom of others with you, so you not only understand life, but can grow through it and feel alive again. My intention is quite simple, as expressed in the words of the late author and activist Maya Angelou. When you learn, teach. When you get, give. Lots of love, Wendy B. Part 1.